And hello again to Reaction Shot. I'm your host, Covenant Ironface, and my partner, Dretmo Caress. We represent TeamNO. So, I didn't have that bad of a day this week, but that must mean I had a bad movie to watch. Yes. The first Marvel movie in which I think they completely fucked up.
So, for those of you who are wanting to know what we saw, today we went and did Ant-Man. And I think he's a little bit harsh on it, but we'll take a look as usual. And of course, first thing we always want to start with is our storyline. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is not the first Ant-Man character, and they do bring that up in the movie. Pym is the creator of the Ant-Man outfit, as in the comics. And they mention him being Ant-Man beforehand, but that's not really shown in the movie. We come to Scott, which is the second Ant-Man. And it's about his story, and basically he inherits the suit by stealing it, which I'm sure you've seen in the trailers. And that really covers it. I mean, from there's not much other than the normal family get-together stuff. There's a bad guy with similar powers, just like always, who, in the end, obviously he wins. The hero's gotta win, but the real details of it, we don't want to give away too much. Suffice to say, I felt the plot was a little light. It didn't seem that it was a good story. It told it, but they could have done a lot more with this movie.
Yeah, and I think one of the problems was they concentrated way too heavily on drama between the characters, but never actually gave the characters, depth. It's like, oh, this guy's sad. Well, everybody around him's sad, so audience, feel sad. No, I don't feel sad. Why do I give a shit about this person? No, not gonna explain. Okay, don't care. The main character is obviously Scott, the second Ant-Man, like you said. And he's likable, okay, he's ish, but there's nothing there that really draws me to him as the underdog or as the hero. I don't care. It's like when Captain America's there, I want to, be inspired by Captain America. And this Ant-Man just doesn't inspire me to give two shits. Hank Pym as, the older mentor as the previous Ant-Man, still don't care. The love, character that's, only there so that she can be the love of the hero, don't give two shits about. Oh, look, at the very end they're kissing. Oh, spoilers. But, oh, look, at the very end they're kissing. Why? They don't care about each other until the fucking end, so why are they doing this? And the villain, there's almost nothing about the fucking villain. There's very little reason for him to be doing any of this shit. And, I don't think it's the actor's fault. I think it was the writer. Whoever fucking wrote this movie just must have just now come on board or been from somewhere out in the fucking universe and just doesn't know how to make a Marvel movie. Because this doesn't feel like a Marvel movie. It feels like a crappy, movie. And that's exactly what I'm going to call it as. It is the worst Marvel movie that I have seen to date.
I'm going to have to kind of agree. It seems that this movie was focusing more on the comedy and drama than like the actual action, what you would see, what you want from a Marvel film.
And there's nothing wrong with that except, that it was not done well. It wasn't. I don't care about these characters.
It really didn't have that much in it, yeah. And you get some of the same problems from the side characters. I mean, like he was talking about with the villain, the only plot point that they give him is they say, of course, spoilers, they mention that the particles might cause people to go crazy. But they mention when shrinking.
But you hardly see any of that. It's like, oh, you're going crazy because you're the villain. No, it's just
Well, the other point is he started going mad before even being affected by the particles. He wasn't shrinking himself. Unless they mean radiation, then why isn't everyone else going mad? But plot holes there. As for our subcast, those actually seem more important, and the main reason is a lot of your sub-characters turn out to be characters from other movies. Hey, look, here's a cameo this, cameo that. But that was really it. I mean, it was like, look, I'm an Avenger. Woo!
Yeah, and Falcon shows up and gets to do a little bit of stuff, which was kind of cool, but the only reason for it to be there was to set up for another movie. So, yeah, I know we're trying to keep the whole franchise together and, mesh this together.
Continuity.
But it really seemed way out of focus. It didn't need to be there.
It didn't. And the other characters, I honestly found some of the sub-characters more entertaining, though. Ant-Man's crew, his buddies, the three people that are there, they are actually fairly important for the movie. They help him out in a couple missions of what they're doing. And they're the comedy there, especially just the stealing the car. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, when they did that, I mean, there are certain things that they do that are kind of funny, but overall, it's just a mess. And overall, the cinematography, the way they pace this movie, it's just, what was it, Nickelback that does that song "Million Miles an Hour." That's what I thought throughout this entire movie. It's like exposition at 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's like, blah, 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 I'm sad, I'm pissed, blah, 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 blah. Exposition, 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 exposition. And they literally have one of the sub-characters exposed at 1,000,000 miles an hour several times. And if you've watched our review at Mad Max and Fast and Furious, that fucking annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah, they have a lot of shots. I mean, I understand it's a movie about a guy being shrinking and growing. That's fine, but they have a lot of shots that, in this time, instead of, super fast pace, it's let's zoom in, then zoom out, then zoom in, then zoom out, then zoom in. Because that's important, apparently, which
there are some really cool-looking shots. The part from the trailer where they're fighting on the toy train. Yeah, that does look cool. And yeah, there's more, subparticles and this and that. When they're going in and fighting the bad guy, and it does look good, but you can't make an entire movie off of 2 or 3 scenes of
good effects.
Yeah, good effects. You need important characters. You need them to actually be emotional, involved with the audience. And I didn't care. At one point, I swear I fell asleep.
But to add to that. Where they did focus was on the miniaturization, the small character, and if you look at some of the smaller scenes where he's been miniaturized, they did put a lot of work into that. You see stuff like dust particles floating in the air, a lot of fine detail on whatever he's shrunk on. But
and I admit that it does look really good at some points, but it doesn't make a movie.
So overall, what do you have to say on it then?
For the first time, no. I cannot recommend this movie. I don't care if it's Marvel or not. If you want to see the, secret things at the end, go to YouTube.
I have to slightly disagree for once. I admit it has flaws, but I was still entertained. Not what I was expecting from a Marvel movie, that's for sure, but I think it would be worth seeing. I wouldn't go see it again, or maybe it's worth waiting and buying on DVD at least. But it's not I don't think it's a complete washout like you do.
Yeah, well.
Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree. That's why there's 2 of us, so we can both have an opinions. Coming up next week, breaking our usual schedule of 2 weeks, is the movie Pixels with Adam Sandler. And not a big fan of his, but it does look like a good movie. It has a pretty interesting idea around it, and it's got Peter Dinklage, so auto see.
So as usual, we want to let you know, if you enjoy what you see here, go ahead and give us a like. If you want to follow up with us, go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to have you. Give us some opinions on what your thoughts are on these movies. Let us know if there's anything you want us to watch and check out.
Speaking of, we have our first official fan request to go see Mission Impossible the week after. So keep in tune for that.
And we'll see you next time.
See ya.